Yes, I have without a doubt been in love before. And especially if we're talking romantic love, there have been two great loves in my life. The first, started when I was around 17. And the second one started when I was 21. And both of those relationships obviously have ended. But you know, as cheesy as it sounds, I think the saying, it's better to have loved and to have lost than to not have ever loved at all, actually has a lot of merit to it. Because I'm definitely glad that I've been romantically in love before, even if in both cases things didn't work out in the end. You know what? I am in love right now, but I'm not in love with any one individual person. And no, I'm not talking about like polyamorous relationships. If anything, and this also sounds a bit cheesy, but since I've recently made a change in my life, I feel that every day I am gradually falling more and more in love with all of this existence and all of its madness and craziness and awesomeness, and even with the terrible parts that seem terrible, but still there's something to be loved about them because there's something to be gained from them. And I know that sounds a bit confusing, but I find that the more I embrace yoga, and I'm not talking yoga like bending your body all over the place, but yoga's true meaning, which means union, union with everything. The more I embrace that, the more I think of other people and other things and plants and stuff as just another part of the whole, which I'm a part of. And the more I treat them like myself, it seems obvious and apparent to me that love is the only way to go. And it's really awesome. Oh yeah, it is absolutely essential, if you ask me, which I guess I'm asking myself, to love yourself first before you can properly love someone else, especially in the romantic sense. And I've made that mistake before where I've gotten into a relationship and I fell deeply, deeply in love with the person, but even if I thought I did, I didn't really love myself at the time. And in fact, I started to grow to hate myself. And when you grow to hate yourself, when you love someone in a relationship, it translates over to them and affects them no matter how hard you try. You have to love yourself first. Otherwise, you can't truly give it to anyone else. It's just, in my case, it just led down a very miserable path for us both because I didn't like who I was at the time. I certainly didn't love who I was. And as much as I loved that other person, I just didn't have it in me to give them what they deserved. And I would often find myself taking out my hatred at myself on them, which is awful. So yes, I would highly recommend you find whatever you need to find to fall in love with yourself first before you start looking to get into a romantic relationship. Oh, matey, let me tell you, I have definitely had my heart broken 2 significant times when it comes to romantic relationships. However, the second time I think shattered me more than I've ever been shattered before in my life. And like I said, it wasn't so much that they broke my heart. I broke my own heart because I didn't love myself enough to give them the love they deserved. And in turn, they ended things, and that was completely valid. I was not treating them the way that they should have been treated simply because I wasn't treating myself on the inside the way I should be treated. And I didn't know how to love myself properly, so it was really hard to love them properly. But yeah, heartbreak sucks. Sucks. It was by far the worst feeling I've ever felt in my entire life. It actually physically hurt me around my chest. It felt like I had been split, like right here. And it sounds a bit cliche, like the heart breaks in half, but for months and months and months afterwards, I was just shattered, broken into pieces, more so than I have ever been, even till this day. But I want to tell you something. When you get shattered like that, or when you shatter yourself, however it happens, when you're that broken, as much as it is so terrible, it is the time when you become most open to changing. When something like that happens, you become very vulnerable, right? And it's like you become more sensitive to what needs to happen. You are given an opportunity when you're broken more than ever to start to fix yourself in a new way, right? You get to rebuild yourself up. You get to start discovering how to love yourself when your heart has been broken. To the people that are in love right now, first of all, congratulations. I would say enjoy it. If we're talking in the sense with another person, another individual, enjoy the hell out of it and don't fuck it up. That's the biggest thing I would say. If you find that you're struggling with things and you're starting to notice that it's affecting the relationship with that person you love, start taking action now. Maybe you can still salvage it. Maybe you can still, fix the problems that you need to fix if you start working on it immediately. And you can maybe keep that love before it fades away completely. Oh, 1000%. Absolutely. The people that I've been in relationships with where I know that I was in love with them, I'm definitely still in love with them, but it's just that love looks different now, It's not obviously the normal type of love you think about, like the same as it would be in the relationship. Now love just looks a little bit different, right? It doesn't mean that just because something ended however long ago or whatever, that you can just flip a switch and all of a sudden, you're not in love anymore. No, I'm definitely still in love with the people that I've been with before, but it's not like I'm attached to them. I've moved on, but I still have love for them because there were truly wonderful moments in both of the significant relationships that I had. And I gained a lot of experience, a lot of wonderful and terrible experiences from being with those people and learning how to love someone. And I definitely love those people still. It's just that now that love looks like, from a distance, just wishing them the best and hoping for them that, they find what they're looking for. And me being content with me trying to find what I'm looking for. But it doesn't mean that I don't love them anymore. It's just different. It's just like, it's like a transfer of energy in a way, At one point, the love was hugging and stuff like signs of affection. Obviously, you understand what I'm saying. And now it's like just wishing them the absolute best and like giving them what they need, especially if it's recent, give them space, give them that distance that they need. That is love too. This one's a little bit tough, to answer, but I think, yes, I think at some point I would like to be in a romantic relationship again, but I'm not at all actively seeking it out these days. If anything, I'm leaving that up to the universe, to Shiva, to God, whatever you want to call it, to bring that person around that would be a good fit for me at this point. Because I have a lot of things that I still need to work on within myself. And so I'm not actively looking to date anyone, but if the right person comes along, I definitely won't ignore it. And I tend to have a pretty good sense of when that magical thing happens. And it doesn't happen very often, when you find someone that you really, really have a mutual emphasis on the mutual, like, love for. But yeah, in the future, I hope so. In the meantime, I'm in love. I'm falling in love with everything, like plants, like hiking, like just this world and this existence. And I know that's cheesy, but it's true. there's a lot out there to love. And I know a lot of people will say there's a lot out there to hate, but the more you look at everything, there's really no room for hate, because hate is not a solution. It's like, the famous quote, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And I'm pretty sure that's Martin Luther King Jr. But yeah. My first love ever. Now, it's not gonna be the romantic sense. Honestly, when I really think about this, my first love ever would have to be my mom, because she was the person that I knew first before anyone else. I literally grew inside of her for like 9 months. She was the person that I knew first. And so my mom was my first love. And then after that, obviously my other family members, as I, was born and everything and got to meet them. And then it gets a little bit tougher, because I don't think after that point, once I was a kid, you're like in love with everything. And that's sort of, how I'm becoming again. That's what I'm trying to become again. And honestly, it's pretty effortless when you really put yourself into it. But when you're a kid, you're in love with everything. I mean, I was in love with playing basketball. I was in love with running around the yard, playing chase and tag with friends. And there was really hardly any limit to my love as a child. And I think if you look at children, that's the way they are. And that's something that, people of any age can look at and learn something from.